That hurt. More verticality. Recording in progress. All right. All right. Welcome to the Straight Red Card. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the like button. And pretty sure soon we're going to have like a bet thing on our show too. Did you know that, Brett?
Take bets on what I'm drinking today?
Vodka straight.
I don't buy that good of vodka.
And I don't think you drink out of that glass, so you must be drinking water, would be my guess.
No. This is a vodka Sprite.
Oh, okay.
Well, a vodka generic Sprite.
Kind
of a generic vodka too.
I'm doing the same, except I've got a generic orange drink.
Yeah.
Orange soda. My favorite. My favorite cheap go-to. For this show, especially.
It's probably the same brand too.
Yeah.
You got some something with a ginormous K on it?
Yeah. So soon we will have a sponsor in our show. We'll try to make it we're going to try to make it not annoying. Making a commercial,
I want fireworks. I want honk, 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 and Sunday.
I think I'm going to let D-Rec do it for us. All right. Oh, did you know my favorite channel, Sharks Happen, is now doing You're an Idiot as a segment?
Yeah.
You're an idiot. And this one was on the guy who jumped off a boat with a rope to lasso a 10-foot tiger shark. And of course, it turned around and bit him. He didn't die, but yeah, I guess he's doing a new segment called You're an Idiot. Like when he has one, he's kind of like our Idiot of the Week that we used to do. Idiot of the Week. Speaking of Idiots of the Week, how about U.S. Soccer? And their website. I was
wondering how we're going to transition this over, yeah.
Their website, their social media. You wouldn't even know a U20 game happened. The only reason I figured out, was reminded of it, was because Pete's show jumped up.
Mentions, yeah. So I forgot about it. Derek texted me. I was at a family member's wedding, and he's like, watching the game right now. I'm like, yeah, I just got a notification actually from whatever ESPN or whatever the ESPN app, tell me what the score of the game was.
I'm like, score.
He's like, I just found out because Pete and Filippo are working it live, and I'm like.
Apparently, they talked about it after it was over because
we have a running. I don't want to say gag because it's kind of a joke on itself. Really, we always rip into U.S. social media, whether it's primarily their website.
Yeah,
but we definitely talk shit about their social media presence as well. And Filippo here does definitely talk about their social media presence.
Yeah,
and it's just as good as their online presence.
I think
we'll get into that here in just a few too.
Rips from a new butthole.
Pete, don't copyright strike us. We'll put the description. Put the
link in the description. Filippo, below. Or is this?
That's what I said. Oh, this is Filippo. Yeah, sorry, Filippo.
Pete, don't do it either.
Don't do it to us either. Yeah.
Lesson number 1 is the U.S. Soccer Federation does not give two craps about the U.S. youth national. No,
you want to say fuck so bad.
Serious. There's been many evidences throughout the past months, or maybe even
years,
to be honest. But the past months have been horrible. In this game, they gave us even more evidence of that. Look, the Mexican Federation communicates with their fans, uses their main Twitter account, announces the roster early. Did I mention that they use their main Twitter account? Yes. The main account, the one that has more followers and brings more attention to the event or whatever is happening. Now, the U.S. Youth National Team Twitter account, for example, did a good job covering the game. It would be nice if the U.S. Men's National Team account promoted it a bit more. Maybe even have Greg Berhalter promote it a bit instead of posting pictures of him playing baseball. No one really cares about that.
Looks
They
like
didn't
he's
make one
suffering from
video
something right
promoting
there.
some
I'm
of the
just saying.
players on the date of the youth game.
Yeah, it's
But
very
Do
it's
it before. Stop retweeting
Very
and promoting
skeleton-like.
MLS stuff, right? They do that. Promote the U20s days before. Maybe do interviews, generate stories, interest, hype it so people care. A lot of the soccer fans didn't even know this game was happening if it wasn't for this YouTube channel and Pete from 11 Yanks, which is quite embarrassing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And then,
So-
of course, we were going to have examples of this, right, today.
Well, and
This-
we'll definitely, yeah. Well, let's. Oh, yes, let's go ahead and do the examples. Yeah.
Yeah, because you and I both went this morning, and they still had nothing on the U20s. Nothing.
2019. Yeah,
So-
because I wanted to go to the U.S. hub page and just find out who's scoring goals, what are the stats, who started, everything. And they had shit. It literally was the last game that was played back in 2019 before COVID hit or beer budget.
Yes.
I don't know if we're still getting dinged for that.
But they fixed it. And here's the thing.
Literally within hours.
If you go to the article, if you scroll down to the article about the game itself, look at the date on it. Those Lions sacks of shit. Look at the date.
June 18th.
What's today?
June 19th.
They're lying. I was just there this morning. It was not up yet.
So and I was kind of hinting at this, but I didn't really want to ruin takes. But my guess, this is just me speculating. My guess is they have these articles on the main news feed. And if we go back to the news feed, if we could go back in time and look, we probably could find this yesterday on the main news feed. However,
yeah, buried
it
under
wasn't
6 men's national team articles and
Yes.
7 women's
so
articles.
I think the problem was that they just never updated the youth side of the website. So like they had the articles, they had everything about it, but the shit just was not transferring over to show on the actual youth page. So when people go, oh yeah, the youth, the U20s just played, click on all teams, go to U20s, and there was nothing. It's 2019 shit.
Yeah, they fixed it. They fixed it today. Those little bastard cunts right before our show. And so now we can't say, see how horrible this is? Because they just fixed it. And
Literally,
they updated the photos.
everything's
Yeah.
with the
So
roster.
I'm sorry, guys. This is what happens when the janitor in the basement is running your website. All right.
Yeah.
And he only does it on his spare time because
Well-
that's a dirty fucking whorish place, U.S. soccer.
And to Pete Filippo's point, I did it again. To Filippo's point, it would be nice if even if they had the youth page or if they had a youth US account or even the main account. Like I said, like he was saying, the main account would be nice. Start doing interviews. You have these kids in for several weeks here. How are you not peppering like interviews with the kids so that we get to know who some of these kids are? I mean, we know some of them. And hell, Filippo had 2 of these kids on their team on his channel.
Right.
So I mean,
Cade Clark.
Cade Clark.
So both.
I also had
Caden.
Gomez as well. Gomez was there, but he's not on this roster, of course.
Right. Have we checked U.S. Soccer's YouTube page? Is it up to date with videos of the team? Did they fix that too? Because all that was the men's stuff from last week, and then a bunch of women's stuff, and nothing about the U20s. It's like they don't exist practically, almost.
Yeah, no, I had to go. I didn't even take a look at U.S. Soccer because I had to go through CONCACAF's YouTube page for it. So the behind the crest for the seniors, El Salvador seniors. Hold on, let me go to videos. Maybe I'm missing some here. Nope, it is all the U.S. Soccer's YouTube is like predominantly all just men's and women's senior teams.
A lot more women though.
Probably, yeah.
Lot
Nope,
more.
I take that back. There is U17 women's roommate games and stuff like that. Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
I don't know. It's just
It's
I don't
like
know.
they're embarrassed of the men's side, the youth men's teams.
yeah. There's nothing, absolutely nothing on the game at all.
Are
And
we?
to Filippo's point, there's no interviews. There's no behind the crest for it. There's no let's get to know insert player or coach here. I mean, I know a couple of the players that played predominantly, and that was my big non-talking point, I guess, going into the World Cup or the World Cup qualifying, is that I know some of the players, but I don't know a lot of the players. And it would be nice to get to know, hey, I'm so and so, and I play for this, professional club.
Well, you know at
whatever.
least a couple of them plus.
Yeah,
Firk Uranus. You knew that one.
Frick Uranus.
Sorry, it's
Firk
spelled
Uranus.
like that. If you
Phonetic.
put
It was very phonetic.
Ferkr and then anus. Firk Uranus. It's like an order.
I guarantee he's definitely heard that over a lifetime.
Oh, I'm sure he has.
Hey, Frick Uranus.
I'm sure he wants to change his name, but I know. But Max pronounced it right, and for Kranus. I mean, you can warp anything if you want. You could make your name say Corbeat if you wanted to. Change it
It's
to Corbeat.
pronounced Dumas.
I could change mine to
I'm dumbass and dumbass material.
Richet. I could be Richet if I changed the way the words. Just like Beasler, Besler, that fuckface. Yeah. All right. Not fuckface, but he didn't know how to pronounce his own name. Before we get into that, can we get to my Sam Shashua thing I pulled off of Pete? This guy was on Pete, and unfortunately I wasn't there live. And Luis Blanco says, how is this is for Sam Shashua, how is this guy eligible for the U.S.? ? I don't see it. So you don't see it, so it's not true? Born in England, Shashua is of Venezuelan Spanish descent. His mother is half Spanish. His father is Egyptian American. So yes, he passes the American test. And I know
is he soldier or just Egyptian American?
Egyptian American.
Okay. Regardless, it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm like, if you ever have to sit here and guess how somebody is eligible, it's in the kid. Let's say the kid's not raised in the U.S. or born in the U.S. or whatever. It's safe to assume it's a serviceman. But there are instances where other dual nats end up going abroad or marrying abroad and then have kids abroad, but they're still Americans.
Right. And now there was all those rumors not long ago that Sam had already made his one-time switch to the United States, which I can find no confirmation of whatsoever. And Brian Schroeder can't either right now. So, but he's heard the same things. The point is that he does qualify. Brian confirmed that. So,
hey, the fact that he's at the U20s qualifies that. I mean,
well, he's not.
Oh, sorry, I must be missing this then.
Yeah, he's a U20. He's 23 years old.
Oh,
it just came up in the discussion.
How did it come up then? I'm sorry, but I thought it was somebody that didn't play yesterday's match or something.
Somebody brought it up that he should be playing for the U23s, or he should get a call up to the first team, U.S. team, or he should have been included. And then this guy said, "How is he even eligible?"
Oh, this is the kid that's in Italy,
Spain. Right? He plays at Tenerife with.
Who's the kid in Italy then?
Well, we've got a couple.
Well, the
his youth team.
The back that was playing for a team that never got a call up, and everybody's like, "How is he American?" You know.
Oh yeah, I can't remember his name off the top of my hat.
Yeah.
Head, not my hat.
It's on top of your head.
There's head in that hat. All right.
So the fact that this got brought up during our U20 conversation here just made me think that it was just
all I'm saying is this kind of thinking is got to stop. Just because you don't know the answer doesn't mean there isn't an answer, and you are wrong. If you don't see it, then okay, don't see it.
I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt here, and just assume that he's saying, somebody enlighten me, please. Just show me the connection. But again, in fairness, well, no, I guess since it's not playing, but I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, that's fine. I'm fine with. I mean, listen, Lewis might watch the show. I don't know if he is, somebody who comes here or not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying he's a bad person.
No,
or he should go, take a bath in a pile of shit. I'm just saying, thinking like this, if you don't know the answer, doesn't mean that the answer isn't correct, that he can play for the U.S. men's national team. Just because you don't see it. if you do a little digging, you will find out more information about his father's side.
I think a part that should be missing from his comment here would have been following up with saying, because he mentioned his mother is half Spanish. Well, what's the other half? First off,
never mentions his
English
father.
maybe or something, but yeah, never mentions the father. So at that point, it should be like perhaps on his father's side.
Bing!
You know. So now again, giving him the benefit of the doubt that he's basically saying, "Hey, here's what I know of him. I don't see how he's connected here." And then hopefully somebody, maybe if anybody, ended up enlightening him or everybody else.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of people who doubt that Sam Shashua and his brother Armando are, have the status as far as do they have enough, American whatever to make the one-time switch? And the answer is yes, they do. Have they? Not to my knowledge. Although there's been plenty of reporting about Sam making that switch. It doesn't hurt that he has an American teammate named Shaq Moore. And he's watching Shaq go play in games, and he's like, well, fuck, if that guy can play.
He barely sees the pitch.
I know. If he can get call-ups, why the fuck can't I? I'm going to make a one-time switch, man. I'm going to play some
borrows his phone. He's like, Burholder. You should really check out my teammate.
Yeah. Speaking of Burhalter, this lineup here, this 4-4-2, that is not what we played. We played 4-3-3. I think they just made both teams 4-4-2 on this because they didn't watch it. And they just figured this is how they're lining up, which is really on transfer market, on US, what's it called? Fuck.
Personally, I think they really fucked it up because they were actually playing a 2-4-4.
Yeah. I mean, this was the way the game went, right? I mean, we might as well have been playing it.
I will say we always talk about how you can't discredit a performance based off of who they're playing. The players can only play who they're playing for who they're playing. Saying that, you also want to take this with a huge grain of salt. So you can look at the game and say, "Wow, we played really well," and you're like,
"Yeah,
did
we?
It looked good."
I mean, there were 10 goals. Can you blow this up a little bigger for the?
Well, I think you're going to lose some if I do. Maybe that's it. Because if I keep going,
no, it's still good. It's still clean. No, yeah, I can still read.
I mean, you're losing some of the subs here that aren't used.
What? Yeah, there we go. Perfect. That's okay. I don't care about the ones that weren't used anyhow, and I'm sure they're really unhappy they went unused. Even though we only have 5 subs, so you got to stop at some point. But the thing about this, you could really tell that this was Burhalter ball. It's totally how we play it on the national team, the big boy team. Exactly the same. And in the beginning, way too many crosses and play down the line. And no movement down the middle. Now we fixed that in the second half a little bit. But the first half, even though we were up, 6-0 at halftime, I wasn't that entertained, nor was I that impressed, honestly. And 2 of those were penalty goals. And by the way, the first one, I think I texted you and said, this fucking ref is a fucking moron. Did he not just see what the whole world saw?
Oh, you must mean the first PK.
Yes.
Where the guy literally just kneed him in the chest and
just took him out.
It was a foul on you.
I think it was Alvarado is who he took out. And they called the foul on us. This guy, this blind fucker. This guy should not be able to ref games. He was saved.
He undercutted him, of course.
The ref was saved twice by VAR. Twice.
I'll say the second one would have happened really quick, and he would have had to been in the right spot to catch it perfectly. The handball one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with that. And even if we didn't get that, I still would have expected us to win, ridiculous numbers. 10-0 kind of shocked me anyways, because usually we tend to play to our opponent's level for the most part. As far as,
it's hard
in this opposition, we maybe
it's hard to get
a little
this
sloppy.
It's hard to get this low, Brett. I'm sorry.
So what are they saying? Like the entire island nation has like a population of like 53,000.
Yes, and
Nothing
only
against Saint Kitts and Nevis. Yes, nothing against them, but this is the reason why we were bitching about Nations League.
yes,
We're playing
yes.
this.
This is horrible. I don't know how they got here. I'm sure it was some sort of Caribbean tournament, but I mean, if they beat Cuba, there's no chance of them beating Cuba either. I'm sorry.
Cuba just beat Canada 1-0.
I know. So Cuba's something to look out for because they always bring fighters. You know, they always have a decent number of players, young players, and then of course the Yolanzos and whoever who jump ship eventually and come to the United States, which I still
Hard
think
for
is
them to happen in Honduras at this point.
Yeah,
it's a hell of a hike. Hell of a hike.
Yeah, I think they're probably pretty safe. Nobody, jumping off the plane at this point in Cuba. So I think it'll be an interesting game. I think we're going to learn a lot more. I guess you can learn something from this. Like I learned a few things about certain players. I learned that Cade Cowell likes to fucking crank his passes as hard as he can and doesn't have any way to figure out how to weigh the passes. I thought Cowell, even though he was physical and he made some great plays, I was really kind of disappointed in that first half.
I think when it comes to Cade, I think the ideas are there. He needs to sharpen up a lot. He needs to hone it up a bit. But yeah, the ideas are there, and he's got the physical attributes. It just all has to kind of come together and gel eventually.
Yeah, because I think I texted you. I said, Cade Cowell has now missed 6 passes in the first half. I mean, and a lot of them were not hard passes. They were easy passes to make.
As a team, the team as a whole, I think there were a number of plays where everything was just sort of like a little sketchy. Like the passes were mishit, and it was fortunate again we're playing who we're playing because we were able to recover. And I'll give them one thing: they definitely fought tooth and nail to recover the ball after getting dispossessed or losing the ball. So
they did.
Got to give them credit. They're hungry. They definitely want to come out. They know that what the results mean. Moving forward. So,
but the total incompetency though of the other team helped them.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
I mean, I get they put in the energy, and I'll agree with you. They did through the whole game, and they never stopped or let up, except for maybe the last 10 minutes, where they're like, all right, I think 10-0's good enough, although they almost scored one more. I think they were like, let's not torture these guys. And I will also give them credit. Unlike the women's national team 2 World Cups ago, when we played who? Thailand? And we beat them like 9-0 or 13-0, I think it was. And the women were still going fucking crazy.
Celebrating every goal, like this, like the 11th goal. Like, woo!
Yeah. And doing all kinds of
that,
arrow shots and shit. It's like, have some dignity, man. You're winning 12-0. Can we start celebrating this and at least feel sorry for the Thai women who are getting their asses kicked because they shouldn't even be at this World Cup, because there shouldn't be that many teams in the World Cup, because they're really out of the world. There are really only, honestly, maybe 24 competent women's teams that you could say to yourself, I get it, they should be in the World Cup, because there are other teams, especially from developing nations, who just get crushed in the World Cup. Crushed. Just like if ever it is that there are 2 spots awarded to Oceania and it's New Zealand, and name your island nation, that island nation is going to get it's going to get smothered, smeared, crushed, destroyed, whatever you want to call it. So this is another one of those circumstances. Everybody knew this was going to be a mass destruction. So I felt bad for the other team.
I know we talked about this name beforehand, but I'm going to butcher it again. But it was Zacharias?
Zacharias, the sort of I think Nico. We'll just call him Nico.
His PK, I think, was the start of the no more celebrating. It was like the 5th goal, and he just turned around and he had such a serious look on his face. Like, I mean, and I'm just saying, like, I would imagine that there'd be some form of, like, flair going through, because I mean, you just scored a goal, and
they barely
it was like it's 5-0, guys.
They barely celebrated Wolf's goal.
Yeah,
barely. And
Cueva's goal was something to celebrate, man.
Who's?
Cuevas.
Yeah.
Cuevas? Yeah. Yeah, his goal was something to celebrate. That was a nice shot.
Yeah. But it was very toned down celebrations.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think that's being respectful to the other team. What the U.S. women did in 2 World Cups ago against, I think it's Thailand. I don't remember that. I just
insert random team here. I understand your point.
They got crushed, and they were just mocking them.
I will say, I've always had this question, especially when you get up to the senior level and the youth levels like this, even more or less the adult levels. Is it more insulting for a score to get racked up 10-0, or would it be more insulting for you to stop scoring at 6 goals and literally just spend the next 45 minutes passing the ball around?
Well, the problem is here is, this is a cycle, and so we've got to get the goal difference up because everybody else
100%. No, I understand that point. I'm just saying from an offensive and insulting standpoint, is it more insulting to run up a score like this? Or would it be more insulting to say stop at the 6-0 halftime and then literally for 45 minutes just pass around you the entire game?
That'd be insulting too. But at least it's mercy, In baseball, they have a mercy rule. Well, in Little League, they do. And softball, they have a mercy rule. But I don't know. I mean, I think 10-0 was fair, and I don't think we're going to have to worry about Cuba and Canada scoring 10 goals. I don't think they're going to do that.
I have to assume that St. Kitts came into this game understanding that they were going to lose.
Yes, they did.
And they were hoping that they can keep the score down so that they can try to garner a third place spot moving forward so that they can at least get out of the group stage.
Right, but they're not going to.
Not that. unless they happen to beat Cuba. But even then, after beating Canada, even if they beat Cuba, that's a hell of a goal differential. You'd have to get a result against Canada, actually.
They're not beating Cuba.
Or they'd have to rely on us destroying Cuba.
Yeah, they're done. They're done.
This 10-0 result definitely put a nail in their coffin.
Yeah, this goose is cooked. I also, as I felt about Cowell, felt the same about Clark. I thought he looked really rusty.
I think he had flashes of brilliance. And that
brilliance?
Well, I mean, I'm using the term loosely here. I thought there were flashes.
Yeah, you are.
Flashes of promise. Is that better for you?
Yeah, it's fine.
I think there were times where he did some really good things, but then the rest of the times was.
I just expect more. I'm sorry.
I think when Paxton came in, I think we saw a jump in improvement, and maybe maybe that's the thing. We obviously this is an intro game, and we needed to rack up the score, but maybe a number of our starters or would-be starters.
We're resting.
Didn't start this match.
And Paxton being the one. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I think Paxton starts the next 2 games. I think we're resting. We got 3 games in 5 days.
I liked what I saw from Sullivan as well. I thought he was, mind you, he came in a little bit into the second half, I think, or at the second half, I think maybe
he did.
But
he was all right.
I thought he was definitely doing some decent things there.
Yeah. I thought, you're being positive, but for me, Paxton Aronson did the most with his time.
Absolutely.
And by the way, his 2 goals, neither of them were easy.
They were nice shots.
They were good shots. They weren't
low off the
tap-ins.
Post. Yeah.
They weren't penalty kicks. They weren't tap-ins. They weren't,
I think
goals.
I think Park probably could have done better on, his first goal. But even then, he's coming near post and drills at far post. He just didn't have time to react to it.
If I'm a team in Europe right now, I'm already signing Paxton.
Dude, absolutely. You're looking at his brother, and you're looking at him, and you're like,
they're carbon copies
right?
of each other.
It's got to be good, right? They even have the same haircut.
They have the same haircut. They look the same. They're about the same height. They're about exactly the same build. They run the same way in such a way that when they get the ball, you're like, oh, that's an Aronson. You just know it is already because he looks like his brother. He's kind of a little hunched over and like his brother. He just has
it works. That's all that matters. We're not making fun of it by any means.
No, it works. And he's my favorite player out of all these guys so far.
Sure.
Even though he's not getting much fucking playing time at Philadelphia this season.
I liked their midfield duo in this lineup up here, actually. Went to it right there. Whatever. Yeah, the lineup over here. See it? Right there?
One over there.
Yeah. I like the midfield duo. I liked Paxton.
I like Pukstas as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The midfield duo.
Yeah.
In this lineup right here.
Well, when Aronson came in, he kind of played as a forward, though.
Sure. That is,
yeah.
Beside the point, I'm pointing out the people I like the most.
You know what we don't have on this team? A 9. None of these people are 9s. None of them. Not Wolf.
What does Wolf consist of? He played the quote-unquote 9 with Cal and Clark.
I know, but
outside of him,
he's really known for being a more speedy, a winger type.
Yeah.
So we
just bring in a bunch of fucking wingers.
Yeah, we don't have any. There's no center forwards.
What's hysterical about this, I guess, is Cal has the build for a center striker, but they played him out wide. Maybe just to utilize his strength and speed, I guess, to get behind the defense.
Yeah. Well, he's either going to, going forward, he's going to be either a winger or a wing back.
Yeah.
And, although I wouldn't protest if he played center forward because he's big and bulky and hard to knock down, which is not always actually great for a center forward. It's nice if they know how to fall down and get a foul in the box. So.
Don't be a pussy, Derek. You take your hits, you take your lumps, and you try to score a goal. That's all you do as a striker.
Now, to be fair to Nico, the Greek kid, he's the youngest player on this team, I think. He's still 16.
I stand firm. He was one of my top players I enjoyed watching.
Did you? I thought there were moments where he got knocked around a little too easy. But I don't know.
Whatever.
You know
what's going to happen.
You know what was difficult watching this game? That there were no names on the uniforms. And I kept having to go back and forth between their numbers and the sheet.
It's like, who the fuck's 19?
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's like I said, that's maybe why I focus primarily on the midfield. And again, on this line over here.
Yes.
That's maybe I focused primarily on the midfield duo because I could at least acknowledge who they were on the pitch. And obviously I knew who Cal and Clark were.
Yeah, they were easy to tell from the rest because I'm very familiar with them.
Absolutely.
And as well, Aronson was really easy.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
To tell when he had the ball in his possession. But guys I knew less of, like Cuevas and Alvarado and Noah Allen. Noah Allen kind of stands out as well because he's got the curly hair. And I got him confused.
Filippo had some concerns about Noah Allen.
Yeah,
I don't know enough about him to make a judgment call.
No, I think he was not great. He was okay. And listen, the thing about saying this guy was okay, and you look at the team we played against, you can't be okay.
This is the same issue we had with Grenada. The players only have something to lose. They have nothing to gain. That's right.
There's nothing to real gain unless you dominate. And if you're not dominating because you're supposed to be, And we saw that because I thought Noah Allen's crosses were whack, and at first I was blaming them on Cowell because they look somewhat similar, and then I realized no, he's smaller than Cowell. So then I'm like, I started to be able to tell the difference between the two of them while I was watching the game. But it was a pain in the ass. They have the same hairdo.
Obviously, I think tomorrow's game will be more telling of what we can expect.
Is that Canada?
It is Canada. Yep.
It is going to be more telling. But if Canada lost to Cuba 1-0, we should smash them.
Well, I guess and I was actually going to sit down and watch the Canada-Cuba game just so I can get a better understanding of the team. But I mean, maybe they couldn't break down a low block. Who knows what that's like, you know? And then maybe Cuba just capitalized on one of the randoms, you know?
Man, Canada's having a rough time of it lately in Honduras.
Tomorrow's game's 8:30
a.m.
p.m.
Okay,
it's in Honduras.
I'm like, what the fuck? A.m. No,
God, man, if it was 8:30 a.m. and that'd be like 6:30 or 5:30 a.m. for them.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. That'd be way too early.
No.
And another thing, you couldn't really rate our defense and our center backs because there was no
They did their
challenge.
job.
The ball barely got to them.
Yeah.
So there's not much to judge there. So, you know,
they don't seem to be, just from their movement and their passing and stuff like that. They didn't appear to be the lumbering, you know, big, slow center back types. So,
we'll find out against better teams, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Because it's really kind of hard to say. And just know when I say Ferk Uranus, I'm just kidding around. I don't know what his first name is. I already forgot it, but I know your name's Ferk Uranus, but for shits and giggles, we didn't know how to pronounce your name the first time we saw it months and months ago.
Yeah, we probably could have made a better judgment call on it, but it's funny.
I mean, it is a weird name. You have to admit, it's a weird name. I've never seen anything that ended in anus before. I mean, Uranus, that ends with anus. But
dude, that was funny because work back when my son was probably like 4 or something like that. We were working on the planets, and we got to Uranus, and I go, Uranus, and he goes, my anus? I was like, okay, Jack. I'm like, okay, Uranus. And that's all the teachers say it now.
They
so
do.
They don't get all the kids giggling. Uranus.
Yep. They changed it to Uranus. But when I was a kid, it was Uranus. I'm sorry. And there was nobody even even noticed it until we got older. We're like, oh, Uranus? Oh shit.
My 4-year-old picked it up, I guess.
Yeah.
Props to him.
I think, watching Pete and Tack trying to give, I mean, I didn't watch the whole thing, but they were giving grades or ratings. I thought, man, that's really hard to do in this game.
We did it for Grenada, though.
I'm not going to do it. I know we did.
No. I don't know the players well enough. That I'm watching the game, and I see some things occur, but I'm like, who's that did that? I'd have to actually go back and look at their numbers again on plays.
The only
give us all enough grade.
The only guy who came in and disappointed, I thought, and I was like, phew, this guy had a bad one or a not good enough one because he should be kicking ass and he's not. It was Halliday. I thought that was not good. But again,
James Halliday?
Huh? No.
Bad movie reference or good movie reference, but bad movie reference. You'll never get it. So
no, I won't. We will not.
Name that movie in the comments, guys. Name that movie in the comments.
And then I like Luna. I thought he had a spark, Remind me a little of like a Mike Tyson.
I mean, just looking at his photos, I'm like, is he eligible? Are you sure about this?
He's a weird looking motherfucker, isn't he?
It's like, he doesn't look like he's under 20.
No, he looks like he's
been proven wrong before.
He looks older than me. He does. He looks older than me.
I think it just happens to be his facial expressions when the photos are taken. You're like, always angry. Actually, most of them are him smiling. That's the weird thing.
I know. I think maybe he has that disease where you grow old fast.
Benjamin Buttoning.
Is that what it is? What's the movie where?
Oh, so no, Benjamin Button's when you start off old and you grow younger.
Yeah, it's the opposite of that. Like when what's his face? Robin Williams has to go to school. And he's a grown adult, and yet he's in kindergarten.
I think it's just the fact that he's got the neck tattoos and he's all tatted up. You're just looking at him going,
"You're 18. You're 18, really?" It looks like he'd kick your ass too if you said anything funny too.
Yeah, I'm only saying this with a smile because I don't want him to kick my ass.
Oh, I know. If he ever sees us at a game, he'd be like, "You motherfucker that called me look like I said I'm an elderly motherfucker." Damn. Damn.
Or maybe the guy's got such a good sense of humor that he'd be like, "Boy, that was funny as fuck."
I hope that's what he says.
He's always smiling in the photos I've seen. So who knows?
And he is 18, right?
Yeah. Somewhere in that range. I don't know. Obviously, somewhere in that range.
Yeah. Because I don't want to make fun of minors. All right. Jack.
I'd be surprised if there's anybody that's going below 18 at this point.
Yes.
Maybe a player or two.
Nico is.
Very few.
Nico's 16.
Very few, yeah.
The guy, Zacharis.
Yeah.
Which reminded me of this friend I had once named Harry Paratestes. He was also Greek. Anyhow, Jack McGlynn also was a ghost. I don't remember his name even coming up.
Subbed in, I remember it.
I do remember that too. I guess the bottom line for this game is 10-0 is about what I expected. I didn't think we played that great. I didn't think we were hot shit. I thought we just kind of played well enough to win what was expected of us. But it could have been 20-0 if we really had our shit together and guys Caden Clark didn't. Caden Clark didn't look like he hadn't played for a long time, which he hasn't.
If Park didn't come up massive on some saves, it could have been much higher than that.
Mm-hmm.
But my take on the game is I'm kind of impressed in the sense that, again, we usually play down to our opponents, and like you joked around, like they can't get that low,
Mm-hmm.
But we do have a tendency of playing down to our opposition, and in this game, they came out, the guns blazing, they played the way they should. It might have been sloppy at moments, and we probably could have been a little cleaner in certain aspects. But it's a thrown together team that's had about maybe a less than a year, or about a year at most, under a new coach and manager.
Mhm.
We're gonna grant them this, okay?
Yeah.
We'll see what happens against Canada. See if they show up in the same sense and score goals again. It'd be great if they put every game away 10-0. Let's go with that.
Well, that's not going to happen. But I will say this: there were a few things that irritated me when I was following the coverage. One, only 20 players allowed on a roster.
Yeah, that's what
Why?
said that, and I said, well, that's really weird.
That's stupid. That's dumb, especially in this day and era. You're going to limit it to 20? Why?
And still allow the 5 subs at that. It's like, everybody gets to play, you know.
And then somebody else said, well, maybe this is on Pete and Tax thing, so I don't know who said it. Don't remember their names, but they're like, well, maybe other teams can't afford to bring 23 players. Well, then just bring 20, fuckface.
I mean, I imagine it has to be difficult for St. Kitts to bring 20 in general.
Well, then just bring 20.
Yeah.
But don't limit everybody else to 20
because
others can't do it.
Exactly. I mean, quite frankly, the teams that can't form a 23-man roster and can still fill a 20-man roster probably aren't going that far out of the group stage.
Correct.
Flat out. If St. Kitts manages a miracle and gets third place, it doesn't matter if they had 23 people or 20 players, because they'd be playing against a team that could easily field 23 players in the first game. It won't matter.
And why 3 games in 5 days? Why do we have to rush this shit? I don't
they're
understand.
kids. They can do it.
They can, but that's a lot of games in
It's a lot of games.
days. I mean, so if you're going to do that, you might as well let them have 23 players.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, that seems like a natural thought. But, CONCACAF's going to CONCACAF. They're going to do what they can.
Yeah.
Just like the U.S. Soccer Federation, they have some fucked up people with fucked up brains working there. So there's that. And yet they think their shit don't stink. Literally. They don't think their shit stinks. Even though all of us can smell it from miles away. Yeah.
I've seen their social media presence. I know it stinks.
Yeah. Mikey Varas, I thought, is just doing Berhalter clone shit. I think he's been ordered to do that and told to do that, and he's doing it. And in a way, he was already going to do. We already knew that's what was going to happen anyhow. When Berhalter and the Dutch American guy, running the program, the whole thing from U.S. Soccer, Ernie Stewart.
Okay.
We knew. They told us. They broadcast it. There's going to be a playing style that is going to be forced onto all youth teams. We're all going to play the same way. And that makes sense in a way. That way, when the youth players get to the national team, the big boy team, they're used to playing this style because they've been doing it since they were on the U15.
Do you think they're going to actively search for the next coach after Berhalter, assuming he doesn't get rehired, and say, hey, this is your interview. Can you play a 4-3-3? No? Somebody get out of here. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a little scared to answer that question because
my take on that is that you don't pigeonhole yourself into that. You can pigeonhole yourself into a style like we're going to do a high press and maybe you have to change it up a formation from here to there and work on those type of things. Maybe that's the image that we want to push onto the U.S. men's national team. Okay, but you kind of have to pick your formations and your tactics based on the players you have. What if we had a group where there's like 4 outstanding like 10s type players?
We're almost there already.
I know we pinch them off to the wings and whatever.
That's what we're gonna do.
Maybe at some point you have to go. Well, we don't have we have very good players, but they don't fit this mold. Maybe we need to adjust it.
Yeah, you can play a 4-2-3-1 and play a high press.
Yeah,
I don't get it. So why we're pigeonholed into 4-3-3?
Hey, we just played a 4-4-2,
or the 3-4-3, or the 3-2-2-3, or whatever weird shit that was. I mean, I don't get it. But, that's why Ramos left, Tab Ramos, by the way.
Yeah.
Because they basically told him, hey, here's how you have to play now. And Tab Ramos is like, fuck that shit. I know I don't have a job yet, but I'm out of here. Out. Peace. Audi 5000. And then, of course, he ended up where he is now in MLS. So good for him. But if I were a coach, I wouldn't want to be told exactly. I wouldn't want to be handed a curriculum that spells out exactly how I have to play.
Very much. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, I understand if you want to kind of push an identity. And quite frankly, we had the identity prior to all this high press stuff. Is we had the counter ball game. That was our big thing for decades.
Yep. Hustle and counter.
You could do the counter ball game with various different formation and tactics. We saw a version of it with Arena earlier. Then we saw it with Bradley in the 4-2-2-2.
Yep.
We even saw it with Klinsman. Insert random formation that he played here and there.
Right.
So I that's what I always hated. I always hated that talking point when they said like, "Oh, we need to find an identity." I'm like, we've had an identity.
Yeah.
Let's perfect it, and let's expand, but let's perfect that.
Right.
Whatever. It is what it is.
Everybody wants to fucking play tiki-taka Barcelona ball, Manchester City style ball. Okay, well, that's fine if you're Barcelona, Man City, but it's a little more difficult for the rest of the world who aren't that skilled. Anyhow, I think that's going to do it.
Yeah.
Right? We got nothing else to talk about.
We're 45 minutes into it. We could have just done this as a live stream.
I don't know how. Yeah, we got 45 out of this. I really have no fucking clue. All right.
I know how.
I mean, I do know how, and that's the sad thing. But I just looked at it and went, holy fuck, 45. I thought it was going to say 25 because that's about how long it felt to me. All right. Probably not to some of our viewers. They're like, this shit's been going on for like an hour. All right, guys, we love you. Make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandma. And we will be back on Monday for the live show. So join us. That hurt. More verticality. Recording in progress. All right.